Hi, hello everyone. Are you ready for the afternoon for another Swiftable talk? Okay, so I have two very important questions to ask every one of you before starting to make sure that we are all ready, we have the good spirit and good energy. So the first very important question, yes, you only have to answer me yes or no, or if you have an arm, you can raise your arm. So the first question is, did you enjoy your lunch and recharged all your energy to start the afternoon again? Yes? Yes! And the second question is, have you talked to anyone that you have never met before during this conference? That's great, that's great. I think it's why we're all here, because we want to have this place to talk to people we always wanted to meet, to share our stories, and to share our experience, the challenges we are meeting, and the solutions we are trying to provide. And also, that's why I want to use this opportunity to propose to everyone to give a very warm round of applause to our organizers for bringing all of us together. Yes, I think now we are set to start the afternoon. So this afternoon, okay, I should get my pointer. Yes, there's a big button here, yes. So this afternoon, we are going to talk about something which is not that much Swiftable, the first talk, because I will not show you any code. It will be a totally different topic, and it's a topic that I think is very fundamental, very important to every one of us, because it's not only that we want to build the best software, it's not only that we want to build the best product to solve problems of the society, we also want to be able to build a very strong community and prepare for the future. It's a very big topic, I know. That's why I find it's always very difficult to know how to start it. So maybe I will start by saying again my name. My name is Haiyan, and I think the organizer missed one part of the introduction, which is right now, in fact, I'm not 100% working on iOS anymore. And since last year, in LetGo, I started my journey in the product side. So now I work with a team of 16 people, working with 4 mobile developers, many backend developers with data scientists and the data analysts. We try to understand the market. We try to understand what is a really important problem we have to solve for our customers, and then we build these solutions to change their lives for the better. And that's why it's not so swift anymore, this talk. But let's start, because this talk, we want to talk about the future. But in order to go to the future, I really think we should go to the past, go to our childhood to understand our dreams. Because when we were young, when we were still children, I believe all of us have very wild dreams. We believed that we can achieve so many things. So many things nowadays, you might think it's totally impossible. You will never achieve it in your lifetime, and it's not practical. But when we were young, we truly believed that we can do many things, many good things. And I want to share some of my dreams that I didn't manage to achieve when I was a child. Maybe it will also bring back some of your memory. And so the first dream I want to share with you was, when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I wanted to be an athlete who can win an Olympic medal. And why? And of course, I didn't win an Olympic medal, or else the organizers would say I'm an Olympic medal bearer before my presentation. But why? Because I was not very good at sports when I was in school, and I didn't like that people make fun of me because I rank at the bottom of the sports in my whole class. So my dream was I want to practice as hard as possible so that I can prove that the people are wrong and I can be good at sports. Maybe I was not so good at that time, but one day I will be good. It was my first dream, just for you to entertain this afternoon. My second dream was about languages. Also, when I was around 9 or 10 years old, I didn't even know outside China there were even more languages in this world other than English. So my dream was to be able to speak all the Chinese versions of languages that exist in China. We have 56 ethnic groups. Some speak Tibetan languages, some speak Mongolian, Korean, and different types of languages. I want to be able to speak their language to communicate and understand their culture. And in the end, I didn't achieve completely this dream because I now speak some languages outside China, but not exactly in China. And the last dream I want to share with you was I wanted to be a scientist, especially in the field of biology. Because I come from a province where there are so many beautiful rice fields. We eat rice a lot, and we have so many fields of rice. People have to spend a very large amount of time every year to take care. So my dream was that I want to be able to change the genetic traits of the rice crops so that they can grow as a tree instead of a very small and a fragile rice in the field. So when they are a tree, we don't have to spend so much time taking care of them. Then humans can use their time to invest in other things that they want to do, but they didn't have a chance to do. But of course, this one still is not there yet. Maybe not in my lifetime, maybe not by me. But when I was a child, I truly believed that all these dreams will come true as long as I try my best, as long as I devote myself to. In fact, this is not only the dream of children. In the past, our ancestors in the West, in the East, they also believe that every human being, if they want to do the things that they want to achieve, and they will if they spend time. In Italy, in the Renaissance period, people truly believe in this. That's why we saw in Florence, and the culture was really blooming at that period. People like Da Vinci, who is a master of science, art, architecture, and many things appeared during that time. And in China, around 1,100, or about 1,000 years ago, to be able to be called a literated person, to be able to be called a scholar in that period, you must be the master of 4 skills, 4 very demanding skills. The first one is you must be a master of musical instruments. You must master the game of Go, a very difficult strategy game. You have to be very literate. You read many books, and you are able to explain your ideas, your beliefs, your opinions of these books with other people. And you are also able to paint. And this, nowadays, also seems to be very difficult. But our ancestors, there were many scholars at that period of time, and they were able to do all of this. So all this makes me wonder, so why nowadays we are forgetting these beliefs? Why nowadays when we grow up? And so many people start asking us, so when will you choose your specialty? What kind of expert do you want to be? Do you want to be an UX expert? Do you want to devote your whole life in iOS development? Do you want to be a physicist? It's like we have to pick one thing, just one thing to be good at. But why in the past? People believe that we can do many things. And also, currently, our educational system also pushes us in this way. So in primary school and high school, we are encouraged to learn a ground base of many topics. But the more you study, the higher you go until your PhD degree. You become the real expert in one tiny area, a very tiny area. Take my experience, for example. I spent many years in universities. And a few years ago, I earned my PhD degree in physics. I became one of the top experts in measuring the temperature distribution around gold nanoparticles under laser irradiation. So I was able to calculate numerically the temperature distribution and also design a complete experimental setup to be able to measure it and prove that my theory is correct. It was a very rewarding process because PhD time was a very, very special time if you want to try at a point in your life. It's a few years in your life that you are going to solve one seemingly very impossible problem because you are not allowed to work on some problem which is already solved. You have to pick an area which has no answer at all, and you have to devote a few years to go step by step to reach the end, and maybe you'll never reach the end. It was a very nice experience, and I learned so much about how to approach a very difficult problem, how to solve things which look so impossible. But after my PhD, okay, I think it's not working. Okay, I should check here. After my PhD, when I decided that maybe I do not want to stay in academy, I want to try something outside. I want to see how I can apply my skills in different industry to solve different problems. I became very bewildered and very puzzled. I don't really know where I can apply my skills. In general, it's a very philosophical question because you can say you are very good at solving problems. But in the end, when you look at the industry, no one is hiring problem solver only in their CV. So it was a very difficult time. When I faced the world outside academy, I really was very lost. I didn't know what to do next, and I do not know what I can be. It was a total wonder. So because when you face difficulties, and when you reach a time that you have to change, and you have to adapt yourself, and you have to let go your past, to let go some presumption that you have in your life, you start to try different things. That's when things started to change. And before that, right after my PhD, when I look at the world, I really try to solve all these problems with the only skill I have. I know how to do mathematical calculations. I know how to do this. So I try to apply these skills in the real life. But in the end, if you see this picture, I became this person with a giant and a very good hammer, my mathematical and problem-solving skills. But when I look at the world, I didn't find so many nails that fit my hammer. So it was very difficult. Okay. And if I need to describe my problem, my skill set at that time, I become a very slim person whose skill set is like the I shape. I know how to do one thing really well, super slim, super well, super deep in one field. But in the end, when I want to go to another field, I do not really know what to do. That's why in the coming years, in fact, South America changed my life. So in the coming years after my PhD, I first went to try to do other research work in a nano-lithography company in the Netherlands, and continued my research for some time. And then later I had the chance to go to South America with my family in law, to go to Peru for the first time. And there were in our trip, there were around 8 or 9 people. I was thinking, so when we have so many people on the trip, what we can do together in order to have fun? Because it's a long trip, we'll take flights, trains, and everything. We should do something together. We should talk more together to know each other better. So with all this in mind, I was thinking, I know one very good Chinese game, a very nice word game that enable people to talk to each other, and maybe I can bring this game with my family so that we can play together. But the game was only in Chinese, only available in Chinese, and my family-in-law were from France, so they will not be able to understand the game. So I give myself this challenge. I say, yes, so there are only 10 days before the trip. I want to make this game in iOS because I have my iPhone, and so that my family-in-law can play with me together. And the 10 days before the trip, I started learning Objective-C. It was a very difficult journey because I knew nothing about iOS development at that time. But with all the drive, I managed to achieve the first version of the game within 10 days, and we had really fun in Peru. That's why I say South America really changed my life. That's also the year in 2014, I really went into iOS development for the very first time. And also, it's the time I started to see myself growing more in the horizontal area, on top of my my I shape, which is very deep roots in physics and math. I see myself starting to understand how the industry work, and how software programming work, and what it means and what it takes when you have to build a game, when you have to build something that other people can enjoy, and the human side of that as well. And I see myself really growing horizontally very well during these years, which I call this as a T-shape skill set, because it means you are not only good at one thing, you also have a very broad reach of other knowledge and other things you can draw inspiration from. But over the years, after my first game and after working in some other companies, building multiple iOS applications from scratch, eventually I joined NetGo, which is a very big company. It's an e-commerce company, mainly serving the market of US and Turkey. We have around 20 million active users on a monthly basis. It's a very big application and a lot of responsibility. With the team, I started to learn really how to approach bigger applications, how to see the business in another aspect, and also how to work with other developers, how to share knowledge, and how to contribute back to the community, and also how to dive into data, to understand big data in order to help the company and help teams to make decisions by taking advantage of data. So during the year, I believe that by having a very deep reach in one area and by continuously trying to broaden my horizon, I was able to go into many fields, including machine learning and the different things. And every time I try to go to a new field after the previous one, I found it's getting easier and easier, all thanks to the very broad reach here. Because the human brain, when you learn one thing very well, and when you start to understand the many fields, the human brain could find the patterns, could find different ways of connections, could find how to connect different dots to help you to understand the things in another way, in another depth. That's why what I believe is sometimes we think it's like a dream that no one can have enough time to be good at so many things. I'm definitely not good at everything that I'm describing. But if you believe in yourself and you try to not limit yourself by your expertise, you try to grow the breadth of your knowledge, and every time you try to enter a new field, and every time you try to draw inspiration from another domain, you will find how useful it is and how much easier it gets. It's only for personal development, but also in a team setting, it makes all the difference. And now, if you don't mind, I want to play a very small game to demonstrate why it is very different working with only I-shaped people or working with people who have a T-shaped skill set. And if you can join me and standing up, we can start the game. Oh. Thank you very much. I know it's very difficult right after lunch, but thank you. Thank you for being here and being super collaborative. So now, imagine you are all very good at one thing. Maybe some of you are very good in code signing, and some of you are very good in some other things. You are very slim. You put your hands near your legs, and you stand each other. And I will count 1, 2, 3. And everybody would rotate 3 rounds, okay? So 1, round 1, 2, 3. Yes, so we managed to rotate the 3 rounds, exercised our body a little bit, but what happened? What do you think then happened? Dizzy? And what else? We run into each other a bit, yes, that's also true. And I see, yeah, we all managed to rotate as a big team, big group here. But in fact, there were not so many things that happened. We did our role and that's more or less it. But now, if you imagine in the team you are working with the people you are working with, everybody, they are not only good at one thing, they also have a very broad knowledge about many things. And to demonstrate that, everybody, could you raise your arm like this? So, that's excellent. That's excellent. And now you are all T-shaped person with a very, very good weight, breadth of your knowledge and a very steady the depth of your knowledge. And now try to rotate 3 rounds. Okay? And 1. Do it, please. Yes. 2. Yeah. 3. And I hear a lot of voice and the noise now and the laughters. And now what happened? Sorry? It's very difficult. What else? Did you have fun? Yes. And what else? Any volunteers? You touch each other. It's a very good observation. And yes, and everybody, if you sit down, so as you just experienced, if every one of you are not only good at iOS, in this case, you also know about other things, maybe your own culture, maybe something about poetry, arts, languages, many different things, anything, you name it. When you have a very broad reach, and when you try to work with a group of people, what happens is anything you do, you have to consider other people's position. You have to consider other people's opinion. And in order to avoid each other or be able to rotate at the same time, you have to negotiate with each other. You have to talk to each other. And you have to collaborate with each other so that you can complete these 3 rotations. And in this case, when you are a big team, and when you have people from diverse background, diverse skill set, and diverse knowledge, some misfit, and some people who are not with traditional profile, and with all these people together, in fact, new ideas come out, and new solutions will be made, and the communication will be made, because you have to talk to each other. You are forced to talk to each other, and you are really forced to understand each other, to understand different point of view. And by understanding each other, you also understand more this world. And you also can build much stronger bonds, much better product or software, because you really try to collaborate as a community, as a group all together. So if you are lucky enough that you are trying to build a team or you are trying to build a company, I would really encourage you to try to find people with a very diverse background. Because for people, if you hire everyone the same as you, everyone which is only good at the thing they are doing and do not really care about other opinions or aspects, you will arrive at some type of product, but in the end, you will not be able to build something which would be loved by a lot more people. And if you are looking for a team to work with, and also try to remember this, you have to find a team that is diverse enough. And if it's not diverse enough, and try to bring this culture so that people can start thinking about other things, trying to get inspirations from Android, from Ruby, from backend, from any kind of other technology, so that you can really get a better product and taking even less time. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. And also, if we think about the future, a lot of people and a lot of talks these days are always about, in the future, we have the threat from AI, that the AI might be automating a lot of things that we are doing, and a lot of people might lose their job because of the skill set they have, and also because of the development of this field. But if you think of the AI, current status of AI is that all the AI, they are a very good I-shaped person. They are extremely good in doing one thing. For example, you have AI which is the best in chess, the best in some very complex computer game, the best in image recognition, the best in voice recognition. But there is not yet an AI which can connect all the dots, which can be the best in recognizing image, recognizing voice, and playing games. No AI is like that, because currently AI is just an I-shaped person. And if you worry about your future, you think you want to be ahead of a development, trying not to be an I-shaped person will be one of the answers, because by having more knowledge, by being more human, having more inspiration from everything around you, this is how you distinguish yourself from the new era that is going to come. And also this is how we can build a better AI which can really help humans to achieve something which is even greater. And in the end, I want to end the talk by saying that now we all know that we are good at iOS development and we are good at what we are doing. But do not make your specialty become your limitation. Today you might be the best in what you are doing, but tomorrow you never know if you are going to take a trip, another trip in South America to change your life, or you are going to meet another person who has such a fascinating idea and you want to devote your life and time and your energy on that, or if you want to join another field, you never know what will happen. So do not limit yourself with what you do best right now. Try to strengthen yourself by going into different fields, no matter how deep you go, by knowing different things, having different opinions, and talking to people next to you that you haven't talked with. You will know and you will see a lot of opportunities and a lot of new ways of life and the society and the career. And for the people who want to find a new company or change job or create a company, we should really keep in mind that our uniqueness, our strengths should be valued, but also the part that we do not really fit, the part that was the special part of each of us, and the things we bring to the table which is so different from everyone else, it should be valued. If you create a team, try to reinforce this culture. And if you want to find this type of company, also try to find a company who really value your uniqueness. Maybe today, like 1 year and 8 months ago, I entered the current company as an iOS developer. But I truly feel very grateful to the company I work in because they provided me with the chances to go into machine learning and also eventually to be able to lead big teams to develop things which change lives of millions of people. So you might come in any of your job as one role, but don't limit yourself and try hard and try to pursue your dream and try to create a new culture where people who do not fit, people who is not so traditional, and people who is a bit different can flourish in different places. And in the end, I just want to show you a very big, beautiful picture of Barcelona for the people who have never been there. And this is a company I work for, Letgo, and in that location. Barcelona is a very beautiful city, and if you want to visit Barcelona for a conference or for jobs or just to exchange knowledge, please come to us, and we'll be welcoming you in the office. And in the end, thank you very much.
Okay, guys, do we have any question for Haiyan? We'll do one question and then move on. Any question out there? Okay, I'm going to take the chance and ask, since I have the microphone. Did you notice your interests or things that you never thought that you'd be interested in when you start shaping towards a T or a com, different skills or different, I don't know, interests, like could be photography or anything like that, that you suddenly started to like when you started to open your skill set?
So if I understood correctly, is your question was...
If moving to new things made you like newer things, like other type of things that you never expect?
Yes, that's definitely true. I just want to take a recent example because, as I said, you never know what you will do maybe in 5 years because life always changes. So not so long ago, last week before coming here, I was in a concert in Belarus because now I fall in love with Russian culture because I watched some nice singers from Russia with very beautiful lyrics. And because I was watching YouTube, which was showing some Android development material. I don't know how things link to each other, but that was an example. But sometimes people were asked, why do you want to learn Russian? And, or why do you want to do product management? Or why do you want to switch to Android? And why do you want to build your own app? There are so many why, but you do not have to justify your choice to everyone in the world. And if you feel that your current choice really deserves the time, will bring you some joy and bring you new opportunities in the future, and you actually enjoy it, my suggestion is just to go for it. Try it out. Before you try, you'll never know what will happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.